Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and today I am going to continue with my declutters. So I am doing a declutter and collection videos because not everything's declutter. Some of these short videos are just collection videos, and today is my bronzer and blush. So if you want to see my bronzer and blush collection, then keep on watching. Okay, so I did have full intentions on posting this on Saturday. It was my son's birthday party, and honestly, time got away from me. So this week, my declutter is on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'll have another one Saturday and Sunday. So, like I said, some of these videos are more decluttery, some are more collection-y, and this one's a little bit more collection-y. So here are my bronzers. All right, y'all, so here are my bronzers. Now, I don't have a lot of bronzers because it's not something that I get super excited for, to be honest. I have only 14. So I do have some powders, creams, and one liquid bronzer. All right, I want to start off with the powder ones. So you do see some duplicates, and that is because I rather purchase the wrong shade, or one shade works for me in the summer and the other shade works for me in the winter time. I'm going to start off with these ones from LYS. So I have two bronzers from LYS. This is their powder bronzer. I believe it's called the No Limits bronzer. The first one is in the shade Harmony, which is the medium one, which is the one that I would currently use in the wintertime. And the other shade is the shade Courage, which is the shade Tan. It's only slightly darker than the other bronzer. I want to keep both of these. I really enjoy this as a powder bronzer because even though it's matte, it's not like, I really do enjoy using these. These blend effortlessly, and this adds like subtle bronzing, easy to buff into the skin. It melts into your complexion products opposed to sitting on top of them, which I do prefer. I think we all do. So I'm going to keep both of these. So the next two are from Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is just their pressed bronzer. I have two different shades. This first one is in the shade Skinny Dip. I haven't really used these, but they do smell like coffee. I am a constant coffee drinker, so I'm a fan of the coffee smell, the coffee taste, coffee everything. And then the other shade I have is the shade Buns Out. Like I said, I haven't really used these products, and since I do have that bin of second chances, I'm going to place both of these in there. I want to give them a good try before I declutter them, because I don't have a lot of bronzers, and honestly, I'm not in the mood to buy any new bronzers, so I kind of want to keep what I got. So this is the Ultimate Bronzing Powder from Iconic London. I like this product. I feel like Iconic London is one of those brands that people sleep on. I noticed last year they kind of gained a little bit of popularity with their highlighter and I believe their liquid bronzing drops. I want to keep this because I do enjoy Iconic London products. I like this bronzer. Now this is from L'Oreal. This is the Bronze Please. And this is in the shade 4. So this is more of a luminous bronzer. It has more of a skin-like finish, but it's not like a glittery bronzer, which I do have one of those as well. And like I said, because I don't have many bronzers, I'm going to keep this. This is my only drugstore bronzer. I like this one. Now, speaking of luminous bronzers, I have 3 from Too Faced. They are all luminous, but different stages of luminous. So I'm going to start off with the lighter luminous one, and this is the Natural Lust Bronze. I find the design in this adorable. I use the bronzer side more than this like highlighting side. I'm gonna keep this. Now this is the Chocolate Gold Bronzer from Too Faced. I don't even know if you can buy this anymore. But this is a glittery bronzer. Not as glittery as the next one I'm gonna show you. I wanna put this in the bin of second chances because I don't reach for it at all. But I don't wanna get rid of a product that could be fantastic. So haven't used it in a very long time, but I'm willing to try it again to see if I want to keep it or declutter it. Now this one here, I'm going to keep it even if I don't use it. And I don't know why I hold on to these products. I like them even though I don't use them. But this is another Too Faced product. This is the Chocolate Diamond Bronzer. So they have highlighters that go with this collection as well. And this is definitely a luminous bronzer, but it is just so pretty that I don't want to part with it. So these are the rest of my bronzers. So these are my cream and my liquid. And remember, when I started this series, I said this is a declutter and collection because I'm not decluttering to declutter or for the sake of like seeing how much I can get rid of. If I want to keep it, I'm going to keep it. And with my bronzers, I really want to keep majority of them. So this one is my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer. This is one of my favorite bronzers. I love the cream to powder formula. This blends absolutely beautifully into the skin. And the only reason why it was my favorite for a really long time is because lately I've been using the Makeup by Mario one. But this one is a fantastic product. You get a lot of product for how much you pay for this. Charlotte Tilbury is one of those brands that is a hit and miss. Majority of the time I do not like their products, but this bronzer is a must-have, so I will not be getting rid of it. It also plays really nicely on top of powders and underneath powders, which for cream products, that's important for me. So this one is the Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I don't know if this is a bronzer, but I use it as a bronzer. It's like a balmy texture opposed to like straight up cream. This gives a nice light warmth to your face, and you can build it up to have like a deeper warmth to your face. So it's like sheer, buildable. I like it. So I've been using this one a lot lately, and it's probably because it is the winter season. I'll probably switch back to the Charlotte Tilbury one in the summer. Now, these two products are from Jaclyn Cosmetics. This was like a limited collection. I know Jaclyn Cosmetics is not around anymore, but these are the cream bronzers. So this one is in the shade Toasty. So this one's going to be a little bit lighter than the other shade that I own. Then this one's in the shade Sunny. So I'm actually going to keep both. I do like this. This is a little bit more pigmented and a little bit of a thicker cream than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it still blends really nicely on top of powder and underneath powder. I'm going to keep them both. My last bronzing product is from Iconic London. I actually put this in my 2024 favorites. I love these bronzing drops from Iconic London. They are extremely luminous, but I like to underpaint with them and kind of also mix it into my primer to get like a nice bronzy glow for the summer. I will be keeping this. Okay. So this is where I keep my bronzers. It's a big drawer for a little amount of product. I might rearrange my drawers after I go through everything, but currently I have this organizer in here, which fits like the wider big pan products. So that's where I like to put those. And then of course, like I have a gripping pad here. So I'm going to quickly organize all of these products into here. So here is how I organized everything. But like I said, like I'm not trying to declutter all my stuff. I'm just trying to go through my products, and I want to use what I have and just kind of take note of everything I have before I move. So if I wanted to keep all those bronzers that I want to give a second chance to, there is plenty of space to put these products. So over here are my luminous bronzers, my matte bronzers. These are cream. And then I did put this one, I have the box still. So this is the Too Faced Diamond Light one. I keep it in the box, and that can just go right here. So there is my bronzer drawer. Okay, so the bronzing drops. Now, obviously you saw that they weren't with my other bronzers. So I put them at my vanity because I like to mix it with primer or underpaint with it. The same with these products. I kind of put it under my foundation or mix it with my foundation. So kind of the same step. So I put it with these products at my vanity. Y'all, I am a blush whore. Okay, blush is one of my favorite products. In fact, I have a Sephora package today out for delivery with new blushes, but I'm not going to be going through those obviously today. So these are all of my blushes. So I have cream, powder, liquid, those jelly sticks, like all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and separate this out so I can go through my blushes. Okay, so these are all my powder blushes. I do have a couple loose ones over there, and then the rest are pressed. I'm going to start off with these 4 ColourPop ones. Something about heart-shaped packaging really pulls me in. But these were all Valentine releases. So this is the shade Baby Cakes, the shade Forever Yours, the shade Text Me, and the shade Woo Me. So Woo Me and Forever Yours are similar. This one's a little bit deeper and a little bit less vibrant. I was thinking I could probably declutter this one, but now I'm looking at them and I really don't want to. I like these ColourPop ones because there's not a lot of pigment when you apply it, but it builds up. And when it comes to blush, I like to be able to build my pigment, kind of control the situation when it comes to applying my blush, adding pigment, because you can add blush, but you can't take it away, and nobody wants to look like a clown. So I am going to keep all 4 of these from ColourPop. I believe they still have these, and in fact, they've been sneak peeking. It looks like they're going to probably rather add more shades or do something for Valentine's Day. They always do. But I am going to keep these 4 blushes from them. So I have 3 more from ColourPop. This first one is a collaboration with Animal Crossing. This one's in the shade Flower Tender. I actually decluttered the other blush last year and gave it to my sister because she's also a big Animal Crossing fan. And it was just like a lighter blush. It's just not a tone that I believe was flattering on me. This one's luminous. I can see the flecks of glitter. And honestly, I'm going to put this... I don't want to get rid of it, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Blush is a hard category for me to go through. Like, I honestly don't know how this video is going to be decluttered at all. But maybe I'll declutter something, or maybe this one's just a collection video. I have 2 from the Sailor Moon collaboration. This is from like the first round of Sailor Moon. This one is in the shade From the Moon, which is a nice pastel pink shade. And then this one is in the shade Cat's Eye, which is a little... So the first one is matte, and then this one's luminous. I am going to be keeping both of these, but out of both of them, this one is my favorite. It's a little bit more peachier, a little bit more vibrant. Pastel blushes I use more to kind of buff out the vibrant blushes. And I just don't see myself ever parting with the Sailor Moon stuff that I do own because it just reminds me of my childhood. I love Sailor Moon growing up. I just got my daughter into it, so there's no way I'm decluttering these products. So this is from Too Faced. This is from that Too Femme collection that they came out with. I believe I also have the eyeshadow palette. This blush is in the shade Butterfly Babe. So it's just a really shimmery blush. I'm going to go ahead and put this in that pile of second chances. And the reason I'm not like straight up decluttering it is because it is a really beautiful shade. It is a beautiful shade, but it looks really luminous, so it could be a blush topper. But I want to try it again before I officially declutter it. I'm going to add it with those bronzers from earlier. Now this is one I can definitely declutter. This is from KVD. So this is actually an eyeshadow that I use as blush. This is in the shade Lolita. This is just an eyeshadow, but the thing is I don't use this anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. So this is from Melt Cosmetics. This is actually a new blush that I own. This is in the shade Please, and this is from the Bailey Sarian Collaboration Volume 2. And I've used it once. I want to try it more in the springtime because I feel like this is not my shade for my winter looks. But I am going to be keeping this. So I have 2 from Pat McGrath Labs. So this first one is the Divine Blush, and this is in the shade Electric Bloom. I love these orangey shades for the summertime, and I really enjoy the Pat McGrath Labs blush formula, which is why I own 2, even though they are a hefty price point. But this peachy coral shade does look matte in the pan, but it is more of a skin-like finish. And it layers really nicely with other blushes. So this comes off light when you start applying it, but it is very buildable. And I'm in love with the shade, so I will be keeping this. So this one is a Divine Blush Duo. So this actually has 2 different shades in there. And this is in the shade Night Bloom. I've always liked red blushes, even though they intimidate me. This is my only red blush. So I will be keeping this. So I have these 2 from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I like the concept of this product. These are the Luminous Blush Rouge. So these are loose luminous blushes. I like to use these as blush toppers. So I go ahead and use a different blush and then apply a little bit of this at the end of my makeup routine. So this one is the shade LOML. This one's orangey. This is like a deep orange blush. And then this one is the shade Love Language, which is obviously a deeper pink blush. Both of these have a nice like skin-like luminous glow to them. And if I could find other products that was not Givenchy, like this, I would totally buy them and try them out. But until that day comes, these Jaclyn ones will stay in my collection until I can find products like this or until they're completely empty. And my last one is from Haus Labs. This one is in the shade A Sea Sky. And so I like this blush, and the reason I only own one from Haus Labs is because for the same cost, they made these smaller. And honestly, I find that kind of rude, so I will not be buying any more of these blushes, but this is also my favorite shade of blush, so I will be keeping this. Okay, so these are all of my cream blushes. I put these ColourPop Super Shock Shadows, my god, I need to get my life together. These Super Shock blushes in here as well, because they're kind of creamy. So I have two over here from Profusion, and I swatch these, and I'm not impressed with the way these feel. So I'm going to put this in the bin of second chances so I can actually try it out on my face, because these have been in my collection for a year and I still haven't used them. But I have two different shades. So this is the Social Butterfly. Oh, I'm sorry. So they're called the Social Butterfly Soft Cloud Blushes, but this one is in the shade Monarch. And then this one's in the shade Painted Lady. So bin of second chances. If I don't like these, this is something my daughter will totally take off my hands. So I have two of the Yummy Skin blush balms from Danessa Myricks. This one's in the shade Prima Donna. It's a really bright, vibrant pink. I love this shade for the summertime. And I really enjoy these Yummy Skin products that I do own from Danessa Myricks. These blushes kind of blur the skin as well. So if you're like me, you got a bit of texture going on, these look great on top of your texture. You can still see that you have texture, but it doesn't accentuate your texture. And like the balminess of it melts into your skin instead of like sticking on top of your skin. Now these ones I do underpaint with. I'm trying to think if I've ever put them on top of powder. I'm not quite sure if I have. The other shade I have is the shade Golden Hour, so it's a nice burnt orange. Another shade I love in the summertime. So I'm keeping this one as well. I have two from MAC. These are the Glow Play blushes. So this is Rosie Does It. I absolutely love these blushes from MAC. I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors for blushes, especially in the winter and the fall. But this formula is like so soft, so easy to build. It doesn't come off super pigmented, which I like that. And it plays nicely on top of powder. So I'm going to be keeping this one. I do want more of these. The other shade I have is Heat Index, and this is perfect for the spring. It's nice and peachy, but vibrant at the same time. So I have four from ColourPop. Now the first three are from the Snow White collaboration. This is in the shade I Wish, I Wish. I like this more as a highlighter than a blush. So I think I'm gonna start storing it with my highlighters. I believe I've said this before, but I never did. I kept it in my blushes. So I'm going to go ahead and put it aside so it can go in its proper home, but I am keeping this. This is the shade Fair Enough. So this is like really bright. It's like an orangey pink. And I do like the Super Shock blushes because of the luminosity they have on the skin and how easily the formula blends out. Like if ColourPop and their Super Shock formula from eyeshadows and blushes is like their best formula that they have. I am going to be keeping this. Now I'm holding up these two. Okay, on camera they don't look the same, but in person this one's a little bit more red, but they're very similar in tone. So I'm actually gonna swatch these side by side. So this is in the shade Cheerio. And then this one's in the shade Just Rosy. They're very similar. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and keep the Just Rosy shade because it's from the Snow White collab. And Snow White is like my mom's favorite Disney princess, which is why I have the whole collection. I also bought it for my mother as well. So I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna go ahead and declutter Cheerio just because they're so similar. Like these are buffed out and blended out, so I swatched them and then used my finger to kind of buff it. And they're very similar. Like Just Rosy's a little bit more luminous, but it's too similar to keep both. Now I do have three of these Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Duos. This first shade is Do We Know Her? So this is my peachy shade. Then I have She's a Barbie Doll, which is a hot Barbie pink. This is my most recent blush that I purchased from Patrick Ta. This came out in the holidays. And then finally the shade She's Wanted, which is my favorite blush. I use this blush more often than any other blush that I own. And the reason why I like these Patrick Ta ones is because you can just do the powder for the matte look. The powder looks real nicely on top of the other powders you've laid on your skin. And then you get like a cream blush that you can put, you know, on top of powder or under your powder, or you can even put it on top of the powder that you put in this blush to get a little bit of a glow. So I do love these Patrick Ta duos, so we'll be keeping all three of them. Okay, so here are my blush sticks and my liquid blushes. I'm going to start off with these from Charlotte Tilbury. So these are the Matte Beauty Blush Wands. The last time I tried to use this, it was patchy as hell. So what I want to do is I want to add both of these to the bin of second chances. I mentioned earlier, Charlotte Tilbury for me is a hit and miss brand. It is not as great as what everyone else says on the internet. This is one of those products that went viral. I went out and purchased it. Wasn't exactly impressed. But I am willing to give them a second chance, and from then I would decide if I want to keep them. Now, a liquid blush that is really nice is the Iconic London Sheer Blush. I have the shade, so this is the shade Fearless Flush. It's like the dark, vampy shade that I like. But this is like super sheer. It builds up real nicely and then it has a really beautiful glow. This blush is perfect for a no makeup look. I really should get some more shades in this formula because I really do enjoy it, and I feel like some peachier shades and brighter shades in the summer would be something I would like to add into my routine. So I'm keeping this. I love this product. This is the Dewy Plump Collagen Cheek Tint from Give by Gwen Stefani. This is very similar to the Iconic London one, as in like it's sheer and it builds up and it's glowy. I love this blush. I really wish I picked up more shades of this. It's another story, but I will be keeping this. This product was absolutely awful. So I tried this out during the Halloween season. This is from Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Barrel of Scares. So this is supposed to be a lip or cheek product. It's not it. This does not blend well. This doesn't look good on the lips either. I'm going to declutter it. What sucks though is this shade is a shade that I love. So it's like a deep purple. But this product dries too quickly to blend out. And then it starts to get like patchy. So you can see how I blended it out and it got patchy right here. I'm going to go ahead and just declutter this. This is the Cheeky Tint from Huda Beauty. This is in the shade Coral Cutie. This is a really beautiful luminous blush. It is a tint. So this is a really nice peachy shade. I am going to keep this because this is a really nice blush to just add a little bit of color for like a no makeup look. Again, this is a product that I wish I had more shades in. This is the Fenty Beauty Strawberry Pop. It's one of those pH adjusting products. This is also for your lips or your face. I like to use it for the lips and the face, so I like it for both. But these jelly sticks, and I'm surprised that I haven't bought the milk ones yet. I'm obsessed with the jelly sticks. So this, it does like have like a nice pinkish shade. Let's see if I can get that to pop. But it's just a nice bright pink, and I will be keeping this. I have not yet tried this. I picked this up when I was visiting my mom in San Antonio, and all the AF94 stuff was on sale. So I got the blush stick in the shade Bite Back. So it's a nice bright burnt orange. I need to try this. But this is also one of those products that's you can use it on your cheeks or you can use it on your lips. But because I haven't used it yet, I'm going to keep it. So I have two blush sticks from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I have this orangey peachy shade in the shade Swoon, and then the darker pink shade is in the shade Royal Flush. You can tell which one I like the most. I will be keeping both of these. And it's just because like I love my blush collection, but I will be keeping these. I do like stick blushes. I wish I owned more. Finally, I have this one from Lottie London. This is from their Vampire Diaries collection, and it is a pH adjusting product. So this is black, and then it's like a darker purple pink shade. You can use this on your lips, or you can go ahead and use it on your cheeks. I do use this product. I don't use it very often, but I'm keeping it because it's Vampire Diaries. For now, I'm going to go ahead and put my blush sticks in this bottom drawer here until I go through my entire collection, and I might move things around. because I think I want to move things around in here. Again, I know I did this last year, but I want to move things around. So I'm going to load my blush sticks up in this drawer. So blush sticks and then my liquid one from Iconic London. And then I'll just put it right here. Okay, so here is my blush drawer. I do have two different organizers. So this one is the same organizer in my bronzer drawer. And then this one's a little bit smaller in spacing, so it does hold more product. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up. So here is my blush drawer so far. And I say so far because the next thing I'm going through are my palettes. So I have blush palettes and like blush quads and then some duos that are like blush and bronzer duos. So this is what it looks like so far. But I did put like all of my ColourPop ones here. Those loose powders, these are like my cream ones. So I got the MAC and then the Danessa Myricks and then Patrick Ta, House Labs, and over here are my Pat McGrath and then my little cute one from Milk Cosmetics. Okay, these are all of my palettes. Now these are palettes that are blushes and bronzers mostly. So I've got some duos, some six pans, some quads, just a nice mixture here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay them out. So I want to start off with these duos from Jaclyn Cosmetics. So there's a bronzer in each of these and a blush in each of these. This first one is got the shade Be Rouge for blush, which is a nice dark plummy purple shade, which I love these shades. I've already said this a million times. And then a bronzer in the shade Espresso. Now these are big. These are really nice. This is probably one of the best products that Jaclyn Cosmetics ever came out with. I will be keeping these. Then I also have the shade Hot Lava for blush and Cocoa Rich for bronzer. Obviously, you can kind of tell I like the Plum one for the fall and this one for like the summer and springtime. I am going to keep both of these products. Now I have this cute quad from Wet n Wild. This is a collaboration with Peanuts. And I don't know what it is, but holiday theme makeup I love. Like I like my Halloween theme makeup and then obviously like my holidays for like Christmas time. And I don't know, I just like to keep it and kind of collect it. So this one is called The Gift of Giving. Now this one has 2 blushes and 2 highlighters. I like this, so I'm gonna keep it. The highlighters in this is kind of creamy to powder almost. And then you've got like a matte blush up here. It's a little bit darker and a little bit neutral. And then like a pinky one for those cold girl looks, but it's got a little bit of a luminosity to it. So I'll be keeping this one. I have 2 from Charlotte Tilbury. Now these were the Beautifying Face Palettes, the Pillow Talk ones. Now, this is where I said like Charlotte Tilbury's hit and miss because I have both palettes. So this one is for medium to deep tones. This is the one I actually use more often because I like this blush here. This highlighter is really nice. And so is this one as a blush topper. I want to keep this one. Now this one's from Fair to Light. Now, I have a hard time getting this blush to work. But I do like the highlighters in here. So this one I'm actually going to put in my bin of second chances because if I can't get this blush to work and I can't get this blush to work either, then I don't really need this palette. So this is going into the second chances. This is the Bronze Cheek Glow palette from Natasha Denona. This is kind of my only bronzer or like warming highlighters that I have in my collection. I will be keeping this. I do like Natasha Denona's face palettes. That's why I have quite a few. So I will be keeping this one. Now this one is the Love Glow cheek palette. So like a Valentine's themed one. So in here you've got, you know, a couple blushes, some pink highlighters, which work really great for blush toppers. I will be keeping this, but I want to compare it to some of the other ones I have from Natasha Denona. So I have that one obviously, but then I have the Love Cheek Duo, which is going to have a cream blush and like a pink highlighter. And then I have the Cupid Cheek Duo. So this one's got like a balmy blush that's kind of luminous and then a highlighter that I've never touched. So this blush looks very similar to the one up here. And this highlighter, it's kind of similar, but this one's going to be a nicer formula. So I think I'm going to declutter this product because I kind of have the similar products already within the Natasha Denona. So I'm going to keep the Love Glow Cheek Palette and the Love Cheek Duo. So the one I'm decluttering is the Cupid Cheek Duo. All right, so now I have palettes. palettes. Now, these are all, I believe, 6 pans. These might be 8s. So this one here is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the Bare Cheeks face palette. This one has 8. Now, I don't want to say dull, but these aren't vibrant shades. These are more like neutral shades where you do get like a lighter row on top and then on the bottom row, it's a little deeper. Now, these are all matte. I do enjoy this palette along with Blend Bunny Cosmetics Juicy Cheeks face palette. So this one is definitely more vibrant. This one's like perfect for the summer and the spring to me. I enjoy both of these palettes, so I will be keeping both of these palettes. I have 2 from Jaclyn Cosmetics. These are the Rouge Romance palettes. This first one is called Rouge Affair. So this one's mostly pinks. They are all matte, except for this one right here is a little bit more luminous. Now these aren't flat matte. These are more like matte with a sheen. I do enjoy these palettes from Jaclyn Cosmetics, especially since they're organized where like one's pink, one's orange. I reach for these still to this day. This collection was probably my favorite that the brand ever came out with. So the orange one is Rouge Romance. And again, they look matte in the pan, but they have like a sheen to them. They're not super luminous, but they're not flat matte either. And I like them both. I'm keeping them both. This one's from Lunar Beauty. This is the Nude Prism Blush Palette. So in here you have 6 blushes. You got 4 neutral blushes and then 2 bolder ones here, but they're still kind of neutral. They're not super vibrant or super in your face. I definitely use the brighter ones over the neutral ones. I do like this palette, so I am going to be keeping it. Now this one is the Moon Prism Blush. Now these ones are definitely all neutral. This has got a mixture of matte and luminous blushes in here. So you got 4 with a slight luminosity to them, and then you got these 2 right here that are a little bit more luminous. This is a great neutral blush palette, so I will be keeping it. These are the last of my blush palettes. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Trixie Cosmetics ones. So this is the Mod About You. So you got 2 beautiful orange blushes. These are kind of sheeny as well, where they're not a flat matte. So you got a bright, bold, burnt orange, and then you've got a lighter, more coral orange, and then it does have a highlighter. I really wish I used these palettes more often. I don't know why I don't, but I am going to be keeping them. So this one is Back to the Fuchsia. I like this one just because of the play on words for Back to the Future, and since Back to the Future is my oldest son's favorite movie, that I will say that is the reason why I bought this. But I will be keeping this because I do love this shade Cyber Babe, and if I don't start using it, I will say I'll probably declutter these because I haven't really used these Trixie Mattel ones. The last Trixie one I have is Summer of Love. So these are nice pink shades. So you got a bold pink over here, a light pink over here, and then a highlighter as well. So same with the other ones. I'm going to keep it, but if I don't start using these will definitely be decluttered in the future. So I do have 3 from Patrick Ta. This one is the Major Holiday Face Palette. So this one has 4 blushes, 2 cream, 2 powder, and then 4 of these eye toppers over here. I recently did a video where I duped the Eye Illusion Duos from Patrick Ta. These little 4 toppers in here are very, very similar to his Eye Illusion Duos. But I also really like the blushes in this palette, so I will be keeping it. I love the formula of Patrick Ta blushes. This one's Major Headlines Blush Volume 2. So this is the second holiday palette he came out with. This one is not my favorite, but I won't be getting rid of it. These blushes up here, this is more of a highlighter to me, these 2 here. These are more balmy than his usual cream formula, a little bit sheerer, but I'm still gonna keep it. And then the last one is the Major Headlines blush palette. This is the first one. I really enjoyed this one. This is what made me start buying the cream duos from Patrick Ta. So I do love the pink in here and this orangey coral shade as well. I will be keeping this. So I have 2 from Pat McGrath Labs. Both are from Bridgerton. This is the first Bridgerton collaboration. This is the Divine Blush and Glow Trio. So you get 2 different blushes and then you get a highlighter as well. I'm actually going to put this in the bin of second chances because these are very dull blushes to me. And I don't reach for it unlike the other blush palette I have from Pat McGrath. So I'm going to be putting this in the bin of second chances. And the last one is called Blushing Delights. I cannot stand the packaging of this blush palette, but I like this blush palette. I love all three of these shades and the highlighter in here. The pigmentation of these blushes are just nicer than the ones from the first collaboration. So I will be keeping this one. So this is the drawer for my blush palettes. I don't have any organizers in here, so I just have like the grippy bottom. So I'm going to put palettes in here, but I'm also going to add some of the smaller palettes like the quads and like the duos into this drawer because they'll still fit in these organizers here. Okay, so I kind of rearranged my drawers. So I kind of split those two organizers within two drawers. So these are all my single blushes. I do have some empty boxes back there, but I put these ones in a little organizer here. These are all my cream blushes. And then I put this Pat McGrath palette in here just because it didn't fit in the other drawer. And down here, I put this organizer, put like the duos and the quads in here. And then all the larger palettes are just behind that organizer right here. So I feel like this makes a little bit more sense. So I just kind of rearranged the drawers. So here is what I added to Try Again. So there's that Charlotte Tilbury palette and this one from Pat McGrath. So these are all products that I'll use in a different video. And then over here is what I'm straight up decluttering. So there's that ColourPop blush, the Natasha Denona blush, this awful thing from Wet n Wild, and then all the products from previous videos as well. All right, y'all. So if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I am going to go ahead and move on to my highlighters for tomorrow's declutter. So until next time, bye, y'all.